Let me explain. I've noticed that a lot of you lament the fact that you as a man really don't receive any compliments on your appearance. Can you think of a way to give a guy a compliment that wouldn't come off at best as an unintentional come on, or at worst creepy? Is it even possible in the society we live in? Sometimes I'll notice the way a guy's hair is styled, or his shoes, or his clothes, and think that it might make his day a bit brighter if I said something, but I always hold my tongue because I don't want it to be taken the wrong way. Figured I'd toss it to the swarming masses of Reddit. Thanks in advance. Edit, wow. This post took off way more than I was ever expecting. Thank you all for your feedback. If I could give replies and upvotes to everyone, I would. But since I can't, know that I appreciate all of the comments, whatever your perspective might be. I never thought this would be front page worthy, but obviously this is something that we need to work on as a society, I think. Story 1. I have received compliments from women. Some have to overly stress that they don't mean anything sexual behind it, and I have not thought of them before or after as a sexual prospect. I will say that, regardless, I remember all of them. Story 2. The cashier at the grocery complimented the color of my jacket, and that made me feel so good about myself. I also didn't feel like she was trying to hit on me. I don't know how that helps, but I just wanted to let someone know that my jacket color choice is amazing. Story 3. This is the method I developed for compliments in general for anyone regardless of gender. If it's purely platonic, compliment things that were chosen. Outfit, hairstyles, fragrance, makeup, facial hair, accessories, that sort of thing. This is something I've thought about a lot when trying to figure out how to compliment female friends without making it seem like I'm hitting on anyone, which sounds similar to a situation you're in. Story 4. I think just a simple, friendly, hey, I like your underscore would probably get your point across without any confusion. Even that is pretty rare to hear as a guy. Story 5. Haha. My boss told me that I had the biggest arms in the office. Edit. Oh wow, 529 upvotes. I really didn't expect that. If I get 600 upvotes, I will post my arms, laugh out loud. Story 6, yes, but also no. Some guys will take any positive attention as a come on. Some possess basic social skills. There is no way to tell which is which in the bounds of a passing interaction or exactly what variations it would take to make your intention clear to that guy in particular. Unlikely to be seen as creepy though, so that's a plus, I guess. Story 7. If you notice something you like, ask him if he did it on purpose. Then say you really like it. If it only happens every once in a while, I wouldn't think it would cause too much fuss for an average person. It absolutely will make his day brighter. Story 8. Once upon a time, a random girl complimented my shoes. That was 8 years ago. I still have them, and I wear them anytime I need to look nice. About 4 years ago, one of my wife's cousin's bridesmaids complimented my sport coat. Yes, I was wearing the shoes mentioned earlier. I have managed to stay relatively the same size so I can fit into it, and I wear it as often as I can find an excuse to. We face the same problem, by the way. It's hard to give a girl a compliment without her assuming we're just hitting on her. Additionally, being men, we have the wonderful option of said girl thinking we're being creepy. No, I'm not hitting on you, and I'm certainly not trying to be creepy. I just want to compliment you on your shoes. Just go for it. It's what we've learned to do. Think of it this way. Since you're not a guy, you can't be creepy. Story 9. It is really going to depend on the guy, so you have to know him a bit and feel him out to see if he is that type. That said, I think guys are going to be inclined to take it as a come on mainly because women generally are not very forward, and guys are taught that women drop hints when they are interested, rather than outright ask them out. So they think, a compliment, maybe that is what women mean when they say they will drop hints that they are interested. So they take that compliment as something more than it is. As a result, women start thinking, I better not compliment him, he might take it the wrong way. That makes compliments much more rare, which makes them stand out more when a guy hears them and further thinks that must be some hint she is giving him when he gets one. Story 10. Real talk? Most guys will think you are hitting on them. I do not like it either. It is tough because it does make our day brighter. But yeah, many dudes will take that to the bank and think, I am going to score with her. Story 11. This might sound a bit weird, but use the word compliment in your compliment. Hey, I want to compliment your shirt choice. It's really cool. Having that word in front of the compliment frames the statement as what it is and allows the man to be in the proper frame of mind when receiving it, rather than guessing how to take it. Story 12. Jim, you're uglier than a dog's ass, but that haircut looks pretty sharp. Good on you. But seriously, I always lead off with, don't make this weird, but compliment. Because this means that if they interpret it any other way than exactly what you said, they're the ones making it out to be more than what it is. Story 13. Female here, but a few days ago, I had a conversation with a platonic male friend and noticed he got a haircut. I literally asked if he got a haircut and he said yes. So I responded that it looks nice. I like to compliment everyone and I say nice frequently because I feel it's more, I don't know, innocent. I try not to say to males that their haircut, shoes, or whatever look good, as I feel that some people subconsciously take that to mean that I think they look good versus the specific item I was referring to. Nice is perfect for a blanket compliment no matter who you might be speaking to. Story 14. It's impossible. Giving a compliment to a man is so rare because once completed, you've signed an irreversible contract binding you to this soul by blood. It is a permanent pact bound by Atlas himself, and requires that you marry that man immediately and have no fewer than 3 children with him. So it is written, so it shall be. Story 15. I'd also like to just toss this out there. No matter how much you try to come across as completely platonic, some men simply lack that female attention in their life. Any amount they get, no matter how obvious it is that the woman is not interested, they might still think you're into them or at least take it as a sign that you're someone they can try to talk to and get closer to, potentially taking it too far. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Story 16. Essentially, I would say your tone and effect will set the context even more strongly than the words themselves. Be nonchalant about it. Don't dwell on the compliment or act overly sweet. Just say the thing, let it sink in, then move on and talk about something else. Keep the conversation going. If you are genuine and casual, it won't come off as creepy. If the guy reads into it too much as flirting, then he's an idiot anyway. Most guys need to have more platonic friendships with women. Good on you for being thoughtful. Story 17. There was a lovely book I read about a space restaurant in space called the Soul Majestic. In it, the restaurant owner makes a point that stayed with me for years after reading the book. The first rule of appreciation. It is impossible to savor a thing you have been starved of. The eyes see, and the ears hear what the heart wants. And I just want to say that I can imagine some people receiving a purely platonic compliment and wishing desperately that there was more there than there was. Not because they're broken or because society is filled with nothing but negativity, but because they're starved of affection or at least feel that way. Like the nice man in Mad Max almost said, do not become addicted to affection. It will take hold of you and you will resent its absence. Note, this only makes sense when you don't have a stable source of emotional support available to you. Sorry, I'm babbling a bit. I guess the main thing I'm trying to say is that this is a very lovely post you've put up, and a wonderful sentiment which will hopefully bring a fair bit of joy to society and people. Just know, there will be mistakes from some lonely people desperate for a connection with others, which doesn't mean you delivered a wrong compliment or did it wrongly. It just means they're desperately lonely and trying to run away from that. I guess. Story 18. You are free to compliment what you want, just as guys often compliment girls. If they think you are trying to hit on them, it is not your fault. Girls complimenting guys is just not the norm because of old patriarchal social rules, and because of this, you find yourself unable to give a better day to a guy. It is a shame, and I hope you will be able to do your part in normalizing compliments to guys. Story 19. Once a girl told me, "Hey, is that hoodie new? It looks good." To be honest, I got all happy when she said that. I didn't think anything of it, though. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. Either way, it's too late to know now. Story 20. Compliment him on a decision he's made, not the way he looks, and do it in a way that doesn't suggest you find him attractive. For example, that is a really cool jacket, is not the same as, that jacket makes you look good. I always remember some of the best compliments I ever got were from one of my friends who I really looked up to when it came to style and music. He's a very cool guy, very stylish, and he's a very talented musician. He complimented me on my song request choice and seemed genuinely excited to hear the song. which made me feel awesome. One night, on a night out, he complimented my outfit choice, which made me feel really confident that night. I try to compliment people often about choices they've made because it's something they can control, but if I am attracted to someone, I will try to compliment them about a choice they've made in a way that suggests I'm attracted to them. That's a beautiful dress, and you look absolutely stunning in it. My wife always cringes when I compliment her, but I do it anyway because she should know how lovely she is. Story 21. Hi, I'm a girl, but I try to compliment guys when I go out. I probably do it about 2 or 3 times a week. I normally just say in a rather flat voice, not high-pitched and flirtatious, the compliment. You have a nice voice. Or, I like your hair. Saying it plainly and as if I was talking about the weather helps get across that I'm literally just stating what I'm thinking. Also, saying it at the end of a conversation or interaction and leaving 10 seconds later gets a good point across that you're only complimenting them. Guys asking me out because of this has actually happened less than you think, and I'm decently attractive because most guys are just really appreciative. It's always so nice. Story 22. One of the engineers in our office does it all the time. She just ends everything with, dude. Examples, nice haircut, dude, or looking good, dude. She's also smart to talk about her husband and son like we all know them. She's quite attractive, but nobody bugs her with creepy come-ons. If they did, she'd probably just say, dude, I'm working here. Story 23. Truth is, a lot of guys on Reddit are not really good with girls or social situations in general, so they mistake a compliment, girls being nice to them, or a girl smiling at them as coming onto them. Then, when they spend all their time and money on them and realize she is not into them, they get upset because they assume she is leading them on or playing hard to get. Most normal guys can tell the difference between a compliment and a girl who is being flirty. Story 24. Follow every compliment up with a little insult. Hey, nice shoes. Shame about your face. Or, hey, have you just had a haircut? I like it. Pity they couldn't do anything about your body odor. That sort of thing. Story 25. Hey, just wanted to say insert compliment here. Have a nice day. You can probably alter it a bit depending on the context in which you compliment someone. There are also a subset of individuals who will just think you're flirting regardless. But if you try to make it clear that it's a standalone compliment with no need for follow-up, you should be okay. Story 26. I work in retail or restaurant. I try to give at least a minor compliment to everyone I see during the day. It makes me feel better, and I like to think it brightens their day a bit too. I'd say if you go with the straightforward approach of saying, hey, your hair's pretty cool, or something along those lines without digging too deep about it, you're okay. Story 27. It's so rare I don't think there's any way you can do this smoothly and without making him consider it's at the very least a little non-platonic. Even when girls are interested, it's not too often you hear compliments like that. Some people in the comments said to compliment other things like the jacket and whatnot, and that definitely sounds like a better route. Story 28. I feel like making it a more observational than personal comment might do it for me. For example, nice beard or nice shirt feels a lot more platonic in my mind than I like your beard or I like your shirt. Story 29. Nice shirt. You are looking good today. Keep it general, not specific, or it will seem like flirting. Your muscles are really looking good today versus great shirt. See the difference? The former I will take as you expressing sexual interest, the latter I will accept and probably move on. Story 30. There was this guy at my work who generally had a really nice style. I was happily in a relationship and had no attraction towards him, but one day I decided to compliment him on his pants because they were really cool. He responded, thanks, my girlfriend bought them for me. I told him, she's got great style. The next day, I received a Facebook message from his girlfriend cursing me out for hitting on her boyfriend. First and last time I complimented a guy who I wasn't in a relationship with. Story 31. The way I misread signs, you probably can say whatever you want, and I won't think you're being sexual. Her. You must have a huge rooster. And I'll think she's just being nice. I shouldn't read anything into it. Story 32. Nope. I'm so desperate for female attention that I'll latch onto any positive comment and start making wedding vows around it. So, what's your number? Let me give you mine then. Story 33. I have a boyfriend, but nice shoes. Actually, to be honest, I do something like that. I'm married, but your hair is on point or something. Just so she knows I'm genuinely complimenting whatever, not trying to fluster her with my nonsense. Story 34. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. If a girl compliments me, I assume she's into me. The only way to do it is if you know he is not into you. I have a friend I'm crazy about. She's already rejected me, but every time she compliments me, I still think there's a chance. People are stupid. Story 35. Well, we all change in subtle ways when we're flirting. I see women talking quieter, in higher-pitched voices, moving slower, getting smaller, with either downcast eyes while standing really close or, alternatively, intense eye contact. Guys get bigger, spread their arms, smile big, and hold eye contact. Obviously, not everyone does these. It's just general. But when I platonically compliment a woman, I make it fast. Don't change anything else about my body language. Give a quick glance at their eyes, offer a closed-mouth smile, and walk away. I do this actually quite a lot when I'm out at stores. Women in line or working, I'll compliment something they've done. Hey, I like that necklace. Hey, I like that ring. Hey, I like your glasses. But I have to say, I've become a pretty decent-looking guy in my mid-30s, and even though women look at me quite a lot, they still never say anything proactively. So it would be really hard for me to assume that if a woman is complimenting me, she's not interested. Right now in my life, the only time women go out of their way to talk to me is if they find me attractive, or at least the vast majority of the time.